In the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse number 15, the Bible tells us, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Friends, the image of the beast is the union of church and state power together that will persecute God's people in these last days, because they refused to comply to the government's draconian mandates to compel people around the world to get the Pestilence 19 jab. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wake-up call. I am sounding the alarm on the deception we are being fed regarding the Pestilence 19 Panacea. Is it really safe? Is the question that is in the minds of many.
This equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero, and that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
But the question that is not being asked, if the Pestilence Panacea was that effective and good for your health, why do the governments in the whole world feel the need and urgency to force every single soul to get the prick? Because they know it is not about safety, but control and vacancies. Yeah, you heard me right. Vacancies, I said. The book of Revelation chapter 13, verse number 16 and 17. The Bible tells us, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." My friends, you can never force anyone to do good for them, not even a newborn baby if you have good intentions. But the same cannot be said when it comes to draconian objectives towards others. Headline: UK's Johnson calls on G7 to vaccinate world by end of 2022. The article says, vaccinating the world by the end of next year would be the single greatest feat in medical history. I am calling on my fellow G7 leaders to join us. My friends, who give these guys such power, thinking they can achieve such outrageous goal as if they are dealing with their children? How will they do it? They will place restrictions upon every facet of society to make you relinquish your liberty of conscience. The Bible says it clear, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. That if you refuse to comply with these government's mandate, that they will take away all of our rights. Headline: Abu Dhabi to place new curbs on the unvaccinated in malls, beaches. Abu Dhabi will limit entry to almost every aspect of life started back in June 15th. You can read it, friends. But they say that they care about our well-being, right? When will we wake up and put our trust in Jesus Christ to save us from these demons-possessed so-called leaders of this satanic world? Headline: Pakistan to block SIM cards of citizens not vaccinated against Pestilence 19. The last sentence of the article says, the move is seemingly aimed at forcing all those citizens who refuse to get themselves vaccinated to do so at the earliest. Next, we are doing all we can to compel people to get vaccinated. The government cannot allow individuals who do not want to get vaccinated to risk the lives of those who are already vaccinated. Wait a minute. Does that make any sense to you, my friends? We were told that those who get the jab can return to their normal lives without wearing a mask or to even social distancing. how can they be at risk against the unvaccinated? This doesn't add up. They slip up and reveal the truth unwillingly. This is God's doing to wake people up. Look at here. Texas hospital suspend nearly 200 workers for refusing to get the prick. The article reads, by June 21st, unvaccinated workers will be terminated without exemptions. United and Delta said they won't hire unvaccinated workers. Listen, people, if they can go to that extent to force the population to get the job, it has to be a red flag that something greater is at play behind the job. They are forcing even college students to get the Pestilence Panacea or face a $1,500 fee per semester, a staff member of Rhodes College said. Is the job really about keeping people safe? Based on these articles, the answer is no. Should you trust these so-called health experts and government leaders who are doing everything in their twisted mind, using their power to force you to go against yourself, to allow them to do as they please with you? That, my friends, you will have to decide for yourself. But as for me and my house, we will serve and trust only Jesus Christ. Until next time, Marinate.
So when we look in the mirror and evaluate our own role in all this, the public, how we could have sacrificed more, as you say, and we think about the possibility of a difficult fall or winter or a difficult variant, what more needs to be done now to prepare ourselves as a public, putting aside the government and the scientific part of this? For us as the public, what's the message?
Well, there's a couple simple things. One is that all the people that for so long live so close to the edge, that don't have a great safety net, that don't have great health insurance, but they're forced to work day in and day out to serve us. They're growing crops, they're delivering food to our warehouses, they're working in grocery stores, they're delivering food to our door. All those people are at risk all the time. And so there's a chapter in the book called The Room Service Pandemic, and it talks about how a lot of us had it quite okay during the pandemic and others didn't. So we should be looking at that. And then look, preventing the spread of the disease is really about a couple simple things. Not breathing near one another in large spaces. That's really it, if you want to be overly simple about it. And that requires a certain amount of sacrifice and change. It's a short period of time, and we none of us can do it forever, and it's not pleasant. But when we do, we reduce the amount of spread pretty dramatically. And if the variants come back in the fall, as they will, the people who are unvaccinated really are going to need to pay serious attention to that and consider getting vaccinated, because we have some great vaccines on the market.
So, Andy, in terms of what may happen in the future, do you think that we are ready for another pandemic, which inevitably is going to come and affect us?
I don't think we are, and I don't think we are for a couple reasons. One is, I think we need to have a dialogue in this country about what matters. Is it more important for us to have our individual liberties, that we don't wear a mask, or is there some common good that we should all be working towards? I think we'll do a better job technically. I think we will put the money into public health that we need. I think we'll have woken up a little bit. I also think our experience with the pandemic will hopefully allow us to respond better. But a divided country with leaders that play against our greatest fears, which divide us, and if we deny science, we're going to have trouble again. So hopefully we'll learn some of those.